Hello, my friend, and welcome to episode 3 of SoulFull Conversations. I am Mel, and I'm so happy you are here. If you're not already, please subscribe and hit that like button and leave in the comments below what you are enjoying about these videos. What I love about these SoulFull Conversations is these are real clients and their real Reiki journeys. So today's episode, I have my beloved and now dear friend Amy here to share with us a little bit about her Reiki journey. So Amy, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Reiki. And I know that we met years and years ago before I was even involved in Reiki. So let's touch on that too, because I think this is really neat.
So I met you, like you said, years and years ago in production. I worked in production and we just happened to be on the same set at the same time. Yeah. And we met and I knew right away, loved your light, loved your energy. And I just remember being told, oh, I'm going to know her for a long time. I just didn't know in what capacity. I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay, sure. I'm going to know Mel a long time. We'll go with it.
Right.
And so, like you said, you weren't even in Reiki at the time. I had never heard of Reiki. Fast forward just a little bit, and my daughter has a genetic condition, and we were at her rheumatologist here in Charlotte, Levine's Children's Center. And she was the one that actually introduced us to Reiki. Yes, she felt that it would help Taylor deal with her pain, her daily chronic pain that she has as a result of this condition. And I thought, okay, we'll try anything, right? As a mom, you'll try anything.
Right.
Like, we're here, we're desperate for some relief. So we met with the Reiki practitioner. It was a very just short session to help Taylor. And at that point, it seemed more of just like a focused meditation. And
those sessions were what, like 5-10 minutes?
5-10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They do like a 10-minute max, and it was always after her appointment, with the rheumatologist, the checkup. And so we sat in on a few of those. I thought that was very interesting. And we're like, okay, cool. And then there was kind of a pause with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, Reiki's neat.
Yeah. So I love that they, and so this was at Levine's that they
Yes.
had introduced you and Taylor to Reiki, and she received a lot of pain relief from that. What was their point of bringing the Reiki in? Was it the pain relief?
Yes. Well, it just to help. So the way that the rheumatologist explained that to me was that patients with these conditions can find lots of relief, not only for pain, but depression and anxiety. Yes. And helping with sleep issues, which Taylor, unfortunately, has all of those.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, if it helps in one of those arenas, let's do it, right? Let's try it. And she didn't go into much detail on what exactly it was, but that she has firmly believed in it, and then she personally has benefited from it over the years, which is why she fought so hard for Levine to hire on a Reiki practitioner. So as a patient, we didn't pay for the service; it was covered.
That's
as
amazing,
part of as a health benefit, which was really awesome. So with that, Taylor absolutely found a way to try to help during anxiety issues. And then when the pain got to be more than she could handle, how to try to settle it back down.
Perfect. Yeah. Giving her the tools. Reiki also helped give her the tools.
Her, for sure.
Amazing. And Amy, you have the most wow story, I think, of one of the people I have ever met. I mean, it is really by the grace of Source that you are here right now sitting with me. So, I feel emotional.
Same. I was like, I'm probably going to cry.
That's good. That's what this is for. No. So far we've cried in every episode. So just keep it going. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So you'll fit right in.
Okay.
So I want to share, and please, share only what you are comfortable with sharing, sure. But I do want to share about your story and the trauma. Okay. So I'll let you kind of take it from here.
Okay, so about 6 years ago, I was in a horrendous car accident. I was T-boned by a van that was literally pinned me and crushed me into about 8 inches of space. So as you can see, I'm a lot bigger than 8 inches.
Wow.
And the first responders on the scene thought I was dead. There was no sense of urgency to get me out. And then my arm, apparently, that was over here, moved, and they realized oh, guys, she's not
She's
dead.
here.
We got to get this van off of this car and then cut her out. And fast forward, I suffered a brain injury. I suffered a crushed pelvis, broken bones, internal injuries, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the one thing they continue to reiterate was it was a miracle that I was alive.
Absolutely.
So, in my journey from that, obviously, I have been in rehab, physical therapy, speech therapy. I've had PTSD therapy. I've had vestibular therapy.
Check.
Let's go
Right.
through the boxes. Over all the years, and it was when Mel posted that she had been Reiki certified, and did anybody like, hey, who wants to be my guinea pig? Sign up now.
You got to start somewhere.
Right. I remembered, because unfortunately, with the brain injury came lots of memory issues, and the joke was that I graduated from 10-second Tom to Dory. So I just keep swimming, guys. But I don't remember lots of things. So when I saw the Reiki pop up, I was like, wait a minute, we've done this before. Taylor, like I just 2 years earlier, we'd been introduced to it. So came for that first session. And that was a crazy session as well.
I forgot my keys. We were locked out of my office. We ended up going to a park. And it was perfect.
It was perfect.
It really was perfect.
But it was perfect. But the amazing thing was it happened exactly how it was supposed to. And Reiki has helped me on so many levels, but I'll touch on just a couple of them briefly. So that particular day, my goal was trying to find balance in all this, because I literally spent 5 days a week in multiple physical therapies, multiple doctor's appointments, constant checkups, and I was exhausted. I was tired. I couldn't sleep. I was in lots of pain. Life was in a tough spot. It was in a dark spot. So I'm pretty sure I put balance and sleep was what the goal was. And it was so interesting. And my Dory brain vividly remembers the moment that Mel unlocked. And I say unlocked because you repress these things and you aren't aware that they're there.
Yes.
And so Mel unlocked the fact that I had not acknowledged what I'd been through. The only thing I had been focused on in all of my recovery was getting back to the normal, not acknowledging that it had happened, not acknowledging what I was going through, just trying to get back to where I was. And it was to my own detriment. And I also wasn't acknowledging the fact that I was angry. Yeah. And sorry, I'm getting all cotton mouthy and everything because I'm like, don't cry.
You can cry. Crying is good. It's emotional release.
It's very true. But just acknowledging the fact that I was angry at everything that I felt like I lost. I was a very active, very independent, very just generally bright individual, and that I felt I had a good energy that I put out into the world.
You still do. And, times 10.
Thank you. But I felt that I had just lost everything. I didn't identify with who I was. I remember looking in the mirror thinking, I don't know whose reflection that is, but it's not me. In PTSD therapy, they were telling me, well, that's normal, and you suffered a brain injury. But just going in through all these therapies over the years, I never felt myself get put back together, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And so unlocked this anger, and it was like, wow, I have to acknowledge what I've been through. I have to acknowledge that this happened and how far I've come, and just deal with that trauma, deal with that anger. So that was the first step. Now I have seen Mel subsequently many times. And so that was the emotional aspect that she helped me get through. Did I sleep that night? I did. I was exhausted, and it was amazing.
Moving energy is so powerful.
Oh, it really is. It really is. So then you fast forward to this year. I finally graduated from one of the many PTs. But the issue that I was still having is the instability in my pelvis. I broke my pelvis in 5 places, including completely off the spine. I lived with an X-Fix for some time, an external fixator. So that's where the metal comes out of your body and is together to hold it in place. So dislocations were irregular for me. And that means pain, if anybody's dealt with dislocations.
Yes.
They're not comfortable.
No.
And it wasn't until we started these sessions this year
And you come religiously once a month,
I
just
do.
so
Yes.
people kind of get an idea
Yes,
of that
I
too.
do. I come once a month. Take my daughter and I. We come once a month. This is our time together. It's a part of our self-care. It's because the other thing people don't realize is you deal with things on a daily basis that add to your trauma, that add to your emotional trauma, your stress response, all of these things in the body that literally keep you from functioning at your best.
Absolutely.
But in going back to where it was, as far as the physical pain, I just got done telling Mel when I got here that I hadn't even explained to her that 5 months ago, finally, my daily dislocations stopped. My hips have probably only dislocated 2 to 3 times in the last 5 months. And it's probably because I was pushing them to run and pushing them to do things that they weren't necessarily ready for. But that was my fault. But it was amazing just Reiki could do something like that, because a lot of people don't realize your trauma, these emotions, this anger, this resentment, they get stored a lot of times in large joints.
Especially the hips.
The hips. So
it's all in the hips.
And I did not know that. And it's amazing the correlation. So I had not only a major injury in the area, but then I had all of the emotional trauma stored in the area.
Yep.
And when my physical therapist, she was also brilliant, was just like, I don't know why we can't keep this together. And then we come to Reiki and we're like, hey, we get that emotion out, we get that trauma out, and look at the stability that returns.
Truly phenomenal.
It
like
is.
I want to shake people all the time. And, there's always good things to have, Western medicine and different things as well. But we have to go back to the root.
Yes.
What is our body storing? Our bodies are always communicating with us.
All the time.
All the time. So I'm so thrilled. Amy just spent the weekend with me, like literally 2 days ago. You just became a certified Reiki practitioner right here. So let's share quickly with everyone watching what were maybe some highlights for you over the weekend, right? The people that came together too. It is pure magic when every single training, the right souls, the right energies, the right support, the right stories, the synergy comes together. It's just, telling people just doesn't even describe it.
No, it really doesn't. You hit a lot of it on the head. The group that we had, we were all supposed to be there. We all had our story, our part, and together we made a whole for the weekend, and it was just amazing. I'd say one of the highlights for me was the attunement process.
Yes.
So you have to be attuned to become a healer and a practitioner, and that's getting attuned with the energy that's out there so it can flow through you. But let me tell you, that is an experience unlike anything I've ever had. And when I got home, even my husband's like, whoa, there is something coming off of you. I don't even know what I'm feeling right now.
I'm like radiating.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost like vibrating.
Yeah.
Well, you are. Like you're literally vibrating at a frequency you're not used to, and you're very aware of it.
Yes.
So it was really amazing. I loved it. And the cool thing is it's a process. You don't get attuned completely all at once. Mm-hmm. So then you have the next part of attunement, which adds to that. And that was unreal.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, so amazing weekend. If you are interested in learning at all, this is the woman to come to.
You're seriously. So sweet. Thank you.
She's amazing.
And you're already using Reiki?
I am. So
girl,
really
you
cool
just
story.
dove right in.
So I did. One of the things that's also great about Mel is she's a wonderful resource in general. And if she doesn't know it to give it to you right away, she'll find out and tell you. Mm-hmm. But I have a daughter, and then I also have a son who is 3. And I was really interested in how to help a child. Fortunately, Mel's worked with children, and so it was like, okay, well, they're going to go differently from an adult. Adult, you can have lay still on a table. A child's not necessarily going to lay still on a table for you to do some healing touch. Yeah. But the cool thing is that it still works if they're coloring, if they're watching TV, if they're cuddled in your lap.
Yes.
So right away, after I graduated, I took this home, and Dean was eating dinner, and I told I did my little, anyway. Yeah. I did the things I needed to do.
That's right.
And I started the healing touch process with him. And my husband kind of looks at me and he gives me the eyebrows, and I was like, I'm going to try to help him sleep. Now, for any of you parents out there, You know sleep is elusive for various periods of time. Historically, my 3-year-old, the longest he's ever slept at once was 6 hours, and it was one time, and he was 20 months old.
Oh, wow.
He literally is not a very good sleeper. And like I said, he's 3 years old, and he still wakes up 2 and 3 and 4 times a night for extended periods of time and needs mommy or daddy. So very exhausting in my household, and it's an every night thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this on my child.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's see if we can get some sleep. So first night, did my thing. And my husband's like, all right, let's see if this works. Well, I can tell you he went to sleep much easier. Normally getting to sleep is an hour to an hour and a half process.
Oh, wow.
He was asleep within 20 minutes.
Really?
My husband didn't fall asleep putting him down. Normally, Adam falls asleep. It takes so long. I'm not kidding.
Oh.
So fell asleep pretty quick. So he comes out, and I was like, he's asleep already? He's like, yeah, he's asleep already. I was like, okay. So that was super crazy. And he goes, let's see how it did. First night, he woke up one time.
And he usually wakes up like 4 times.
3 to 4 times a night, yes.
Wow.
And is usually trying to be up for the day at 6 o'clock, like in the morning. You know, it's insane. But 3 to 4 times, taking, again, those hours to get back to sleep, right? Because he wants to get back in your lap or back in your arm. And then if you try to move, he's awake. He doesn't even go to a full sleep because he's so worried that you're going to leave or whatever it is. He's got to touch you. It's been a hard situation. So he woke up one time, was back to sleep. We were back in bed in like no time. And then he slept, and I was like so excited. I text Mel, I'm like, guess what? He only woke up one time. Woo! So then last night.
This is only the second time.
This is only the second time.
Okay.
So back-to-back nights. This is only the second time. Last night, he went to sleep. Again, very quick, enough that my husband didn't fall asleep. 15, 20 minutes. I was like, are we making records here? He's like, he just laid down and did it. Because I told my husband, I said, I'm going to do it again.
Yep.
And I did it again. And they went in for bedtime, and he slept through the night.
The entire night?
The entire night. First time.
How many hours was that?
In 3 years. He slept 10 hours.
10 hours?
He slept 10 hours. He slept a solid 10 hours.
Oh my God.
And he's never slept that long.
This is
ever
amazing.
In his life. Yeah, I have goosebumps.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And for any moms out there, or really any parents, right? I mean, sleep, right? We need sleep. That's how we recharge our bodies, regenerate our cells and all of that. So, wow.
Yeah. And I think even because we talked about children and their energy is usually so pure.
Yep.
But they can still have traumas, it could be the birth process. Like, who knows what it could be, the daycare they're in, whatever it might be. And I think in his case, at night, he was so anxious about where's mommy and daddy that he just couldn't be asleep without us. And I think calming that anxiety allowed him to sleep. Like,
that's amazing.
Just really
amazing. No wonder you're extra glowing today. You're like, I slept for the first time in 3 years.
Yes, and it was so funny when the alarm went off, my husband woke up in a daze, like, what time is it? What's happening? I immediately grabbed his arm. I was like, check the monitor, make sure he's still breathing. I literally was so concerned because I was like, he didn't wake up, right? I didn't hear him all night. He didn't wake up. And my husband's like, I didn't get up with him. No, I didn't hear him. And we checked the monitor. Like, yeah, he's still breathing. 10 hours he slept.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That is. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes. Yeah.
These, I tell you what, every single one is completely different, and as they would be for each individual. But wow, I have no words. I'm like truly speechless. Like, I'm like, I don't know what to say. Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us, to just enlighten us. You shared a lot from the medical side and how Reiki was beneficial, your experience in just getting certified as a practitioner, and how you're already implementing it in your day-to-day, and how it has helped your family's healing journey. So, oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
And thank you for what you do for us, for the world.
It really is my pleasure. It really is. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Soulful Conversations, and I look forward to seeing you all again so soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.